work this ACT math question from June 2020. It was question number 53, and it says the solution to the equation 3d plus 17 equals 13 is which of the types of numbers listed below? Rational, irrational, positive, negative, or integer. So the first thing we have to do is we've got to find the solution to this. We need to find what d is. So this is just an algebraic expression. We're going to subtract 17 from both sides, and we get that 3d equals negative 4. Make sure when you subtract, you'll have 13 minus 17 is a negative 4. Divide both sides by 3, and we get that d equals a negative 4/3. Now here's our solution, and what we've got to do is look at these different types of numbers and see what negative 4/3, which one it falls into. So first, rational. Well, looking at rational, we can also look at 2, which is irrational. So what does each of these mean? Looking at a rational number by definition can be expressed as a fraction. And just as a reminder, and we see this 4/3, negative 4/3 is a fraction, so it's going to be a rational number. And just as a reminder, 2 is also a rational number because it can be expressed as 2/1, a fraction. So that's the way I think about it. If I'm thinking about rational, it can be expressed as a fraction. And for irrational, a good example of that is to think about pi. 3.14159. We know it goes on and on and on and never ends. So there is no end to pi in terms of the number of decimal places. You cannot express that as a fraction. So that's just a thing to keep in mind when you're trying to distinguish between rational and irrational. Well, we know it is a rational number. It can be expressed as a fraction. It is not irrational. Now the next two choices, 3 and 4, are positive and negative. We have negative 4/3, so it is a negative number, so it's not positive, it's going to be negative. And integer, what does that mean? An integer is a number that does not have a fractional or decimal point. And we know we can rewrite this negative 4/3 as negative 1 1/3. So that's around negative 1.33333. In decimal form, just as a reminder, negative 1 point and with the 3's repeating. So that is not an integer. With an integer, this decimal point would be off. So we are not an integer either. So it looks like we're just 1 and 4, and that's going to be answer choice B. So I stepped through looking at each of these different things. Hopefully you could be able to solve this a little bit quicker once you got your solution and determine which type of number. If you want some more practice on a question like this, I would suggest you do a search solving algebraic equations, and you could also look at number types, practicing between rational, irrational, positive, negative, integer, all the different types of number types that you could possibly see in a question like this. This is your math question of the day. We have lots more videos to help you prepare for the math section of the ACT. Subscribe so you'll get our next practice. Until then, practice a bit more on your own, and when you take the test, you'll be glad that you did.